Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining another LeadSquared webinar. I am Shivani Roy and I work for the marketing team at LeadSquared. So today we are discussing how to maximize student conversions with calls, WhatsApp, email, essentially all the tools you use today to connect and maximize engagement with your students. Now, some of the things that we will discuss in the session today are, of course, building an easy and approachable process for student applications. We will talk about qualitative impacts and how do we track these communications over whatever channel we use, and if they're really having an impact or not. And of course, the role of technology in building an omni-channel process for communication. So I have two speakers with me who are going to share all the knowledge they have, all of their expertise, with the years of experience they have. I'm sure you all have a lot to learn. So I have Mr. Shivam Dikshit, who is the Director of Enterprise Business at MyOperator, which is a cloud-based telephony service provider. Thank you so much, Shivam, for giving us your time and joining us today. I also have Mr. Murli Krishna, who is the Vice President of Sales at LeadSquared, an omni-channel sales and marketing automation platform. Uh, so now, before I actually get started with the session and set some context, a quick note to the audience. We want to hear from you. We want this to be an engaging session. So feel free to put in your questions, comments, anything you want. If you want to just say hi to the speakers, go for it. We'd really like to hear from you and your experience so far. Um, Now, while I think Murli makes his journey back, I will probably start with a few fun facts and stats around this topic that our team here has gathered. So, uh, maybe to start with, responding to students quickly and sending personalized messages actually increases the chances of conversion by 47%. And again, we have not made up these numbers, we've actually gathered this data from various folks. Some of those being our fellow admission teams and counselors among the clients we serve. So some of the stats that they shared with us are as follows. Segmentation helped them improve revenue by 760%. They saw 60% more clicks on mobile-friendly emails, and calling their student inquiries under 10 minutes improved chances of conversions by 5x. So these are stats that we've actually got from the clients we serve. So with this, I think we will begin our session. We will definitely touch upon some of these numbers and also hear from speakers out here with regards to how to do your communication better. So, Shivam, my first question to you. So colleges have multiple options to choose from today when it comes to engaging with students, right? So in the current scenario, which channel do you see working best or working better than others when it comes to engagement? Based on the current trends, what channel do you see working better?
Thank you, Shivani. Hi, folks. So I get your question. I'll take the liberty to probably divide it into two parts. Rather, I'll address the first part itself. That's before admissions. So
Yeah.
once an inquiry is made or a student is tagged, how do the institutions approach that, or what's their strategy? So primarily, I'll categorize it into two parts. One is the conventional communication that has been there through and through, which includes calls, emails, and SMS. And the other one is the new age trends that is picking up. The new age trend can be further categorized into two broad segments. One is the social media, and the another one is WhatsApp. So I will, though these are broadly categorized, there are other smaller mediums also, but for the sake of brevity, I'll just draw this quick hierarchical chart. So in the conventional channel, what we've seen is we do SMSs, we do calls. We've seen a sharp decline when it comes to education institutes. On the social media front, the digital marketing trend on the new age channels this has significantly increased. Particularly, Instagram and Twitter are the mediums of choice, followed closely by LinkedIn. Facebook, for some reason, has lost its sheen. It's still there as a preference in tier 3, tier 4 geographies, if the student is from tier 4, tier 3 geography. But somehow it has now settled itself for a older generation platform, and Instagram has taken over. So this is for the as I can say, this is for the social media thing. For the WhatsApp, there has been an unprecedented growth, and what I can see as the reason is primarily because it sort of personalizes the entire context. It's always there in your phone, and it's readily it's very it's very integrated into your life. You do not have to sign into your email and read it. You do not have to pick up a call and listen. It's just there. So that is what I call, it's sort of is more personal. The second aspect is that WhatsApp has a larger exposure time. Now that again, when I say larger exposure time, I'll quickly expand on that. When I say larger exposure time, if somebody calls you at 11 a.m., the exposure time of call would be a minute or a 2 minute if you pick it up. But if somebody drops your WhatsApp message, you have the entire day to read it. If you do not have time, you will go back to your place, and whenever you're winding down and scrolling down through WhatsApp, it's still there. So it has become a sort of a it'll be there. A green signal would be popping up with the number of messages that you've received, and eventually uh, you would be tempted to open it and read it through. So click through rates have been phenomenal. So that's my take.
Thank you. I see the audience is already asking questions, so I'm not going to keep them waiting. Let's keep this conversational. Abhi Singh already has a question. He's saying, what can be the role of AI in generating leads and conversion?
Okay. So
To
you want me
either
to
of
take it?
you. Sure, sure.
Yeah,
Please go
I
ahead.
can take the conversion part. Maybe the lead
Yeah.
generation part, Shivam, you can pick up and explain AI and lead generation. So,
So this is an experiment that we are presently running with one of the larger universities in Mumbai. It's a large private university, approximately 60 years old. So what they have done is that they have provided us with all the information with respect to their courses that they have, with respect to the prospectus that they have, and every query that usually they use to train their admissions team or the counselors. So they have provided us that information. We have bundled that information and used a simple Gen AI API, and we have converted it into a conversational bot. So this bot functions on two fronts. One is a voice-based interactive bot. So you will call the college, and it'll start asking which stream do you want, what exactly do you want to know in that. So those are simple multi-level IVRs. But when you dig deeper, and there are certain questions that let's say that might require an human intervention, that is what we are trying to reduce. But during this course of experiment, we realized that the ROI for including AI right now is not there. Precisely because the existing tools like simple multi-level IVRs and WhatsApp chatbots are already solving 95% of their pain points. For specific manual interventions, we would be required to train the models on the AI on the data sets. But the price point for that is not making sense at this juncture. Probably a couple of years down the line, this may very well pick up. However, there are certain edtechs, but again, that is out of the ambit. That's why I'll not discuss that. We are working with one of the almost all the largest edtechs. So वहाँ पे ये हम लोग कर रहे हैं अलग अलग तरीके से. I hope
yeah.
everybody is comfortable.
Yeah. So, audience can be from anywhere, Shivam. I think preferably English is better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
So I think adding to Shivam, I think that very rightly said, everything boils down to the paying potential and the investments what the colleges are ready to do on the AI front. Now talking about conversions, right? So there are standard ways of putting a conversion engine, based on some rules, prioritize what leads to be contacted first, right? Or prioritize a set of leads versus other leads which are not active. That prioritization can happen in multiple ways, right? And AI obviously has a larger role in the future to play there. But as of today, whatever we have seen, right, most of the colleges are not even utilizing the rule-based engines what tools like LeadSquared or a lot of other platforms offer. Like we have a beautiful rule-based engine to prioritize leads. Now colleges say, oh, this is complex, right? Now if AI comes in, it definitely it will be giving advantage, but eventually there is a person who is driving it, right? The college admission director in majority of the cases. So they have to have the thought process on what is prioritization, how they want to do it. Because the other angle to it is the same logic doesn't apply to all colleges. Practically, I have worked with 400-500 plus colleges in the last 5-6 years. A college in the same location or a similar category, right? Two colleges are there, let's say in Mumbai, in a similar admission cycle. Both operate in a very different way in terms of admissions, qualifications, and how they call the student. So one college comes and says, I will not even call the student, right? Because I have so many applications for the student. If he's interested, he will complete the steps. Now other college says, no, I have a lead, I want to contact them like ASAP, right? Now it all depends on how they want to drive the admission cycle and how they want to nurture the lead and make sure the conversion happens, right? So AI possibilities are many, right? But currently whatever we have seen, at least from the college perspective, it is too early for majority of them. Some colleges are trying, as I think Shivam mentioned, some large universities are already trying from the conversion point of view. Lead generation, AI bots, I think all of them at least tried one shot at having a chatbot on their website with some AI capabilities. I don't know how far they're successful from the investment side of it, but I think more and more AI specific use cases will come in, which can solve it at a lesser cost or lesser timelines, basically. So I mean, as of today, we have to just wait, for the time to come and tell.
I have three questions from Salim, and I think it's right up your alley. The question goes, what is the best possible integrated automation with a combination of CRM, WhatsApp, and calls when we generate leads using Facebook/Meta/Insta? Second, how much time would it take for the integration of the most simplest automation to keep the leads hot? Third, do we have any use case to replicate the same to begin with for the same? Do
Perfect.
we
I'll
have a
take
use
this.
case? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Salim, the answer is yes for all your questions, by the way. So we have implemented WhatsApp across maybe 150 plus colleges already in LeadSquared, right? So what are the possibilities? Ideally, I'll give a quick journey on what can be done using WhatsApp as a journey, right? Any lead coming from Facebook, Insta, or Meta, rather any channel for that matter, first thing is you can send a thank you message to the student on WhatsApp, right? Along with a link for him to go with the next step of registration, right? Once they register, the confirmation letter can be sent via WhatsApp, right? So the student can receive his application confirmation. And if the student pays, the payment receipt can be sent via WhatsApp. That's a possibility, right? Once the student acknowledges that and he completes the journey, and if there is a scheduled interview or a scheduled group discussion in some colleges, the group discussion confirmations messages can be sent to them. This is the positive journey. In case if the student is not completing the next step, he's stuck in a specific step for like more than 3 days, he's not completing his application, you can actually nudge and send a specific notification for nudges as well, right? Now this is the whole journey. And how quickly we can do it, all of this, if you have a WhatsApp business account in place, right, either from MyOperator or any other provider, the integration with CRM is very quick and easy. It will not take more than 2-3 days for you to set up the automations and set this in place, right? Obviously you may need to spend some time in approving, getting the templates approved, having the right content in the template. That may take a while with Facebook directly to approve your templated message. But once approved, setup of CRM and setting up these automation workflows is not more than a 2-3 days or a week's job overall.
So I'll expand. I'll quickly add a couple of things to that to this. So when you say Insta or Facebook, there is a very powerful feature which has still not been used extensively, which is CTWA, click to WhatsApp ads. So whatever ad spend you have, whatever ad you do, there's a simple button. The moment a person clicks it, the visitor gets converted into a lead, and it's directly plugged into your CRM, the LeadSquared CRM. It directly gets logged into there. So probably that is the question, the original question that you asked. Best possible integrated automation is the CTWA, and apart from the CTWA, there's also anyways when you are using this, there's this QR mechanism. Probably if time allows, I can cover that later. The acquisition channels that we can generate using WhatsApp. But I believe Murli very well summarized your answer. The only addition is that CTWA, you should explore that.
So
And integration anyway can be done in Murli rightly said 1-2 days is still बहुत बड़ा है वो तो एक घंटे it can be done in an hour's time. It can be done in an hour's time.
Yeah. So Shivam, Kamal is asking to elaborate on CBWA.
No, it's not CPWA, it's CTWA.
Yeah.
So CTWA stands for click to WhatsApp ad. It's a very simple ad that's there on the Instagram. Your ads, whenever you deploy your ad spend, you create advertisements. On the bottom there is a CTA. Usually it's a call or form. So, but the CTWA redirects you directly to the WhatsApp account. So what happens is whenever a customer clicks on CTWA button, it directly lands in his or her WhatsApp account, and through that it has a predefined templatized message already written. You just need to send, hi, I saw your advertisement online, hi, I'm interested in this particular course. So that kind of things can be done. And the beauty of this is the moment you click that button, you have a ready lead. You have the phone number and the name of the individual that was the visitor.
Yeah. Surajit is asking which tool, Facebook or Insta. Surajit, there is no right or wrong answer here, basically. So it depends on the type of campus you have, type of digital presence you have already, and your followers across different channels.
absolutely, and I'll add like a note from the marketing front. The messaging is key. You know, the messaging will really bring basically tell you what kind of people will sign up for the ad. Let's say you're running or any. The messaging is key, right? Apart from a lot of other things. So I think we got a question also about the same. What about the generation of quality leads? It encompasses all of the things that we just mentioned. So, keeping that in mind, and while you all share more questions, okay, there is another question already. So, I'm going to pause with mine for a bit. Jubin has a question. Please help me if I've mispronounced your name. He says, can we capture the responses provided by students in WhatsApp API chat flow, such as their preferred course, and store this information in a custom field within LeadSquared for each individual student profile? Murli?
Yeah, we can do that. So again, it's not a direct response. Am I audible, Shivani?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so it's not a direct response which we can capture, Jubin, because WhatsApp usually says those responses are directly not possible to capture in the CRM. What we basically can do is to redirect them to the journey part of it. So when I say the journey, you basically have an application form, and the student is at step 2 of the application form, and then you basically have a certain fields which you want to collect. So in WhatsApp, you can actually have a link which will redirect them to a specific page where he can fill more and more information that can come back to LeadSquared into the respective fields, right? Or WhatsApp actually allows communication in terms of 1 and 2, or press 1, 2, or reply with XYZ options. If there is a use case of selecting very specific information, for example, are you looking for MBA or BTech? Reply 1 for BTech, let's say. That's a simple use case, right? So in those cases, I can create a workflow where it captures BTech and updates the system.
Awesome. Jubin, if you have any follow-up questions, please ask. In the
Yeah.
meantime, I will go ahead with my set of questions. Next, again, Shivam, for you. So, one of the top priorities for institutions today is maximizing reach and acquisition, of course. So, how is MyOperator doing the same? How can MyOperator help colleges get positive ROI through their communication strategy?
So, while these specific strategies and outcomes are dependent upon the organization or the institutional's goals or very specific implementations, I'll just give you a generic answer. It's sort of a roadmap that we propose to anyone who wants to, who has an educational institute and wants to probably get onboarded onto a top line and a bottom line impactful journey. So, three pointers again. The first is optimize, second is personalize, and the third is that you measure. So optimize your present communication spends, personalize the communication that you are doing, and measure your marketing spend. So what is happening? I'll quickly expand on each of these pointers. When I say optimize your communication spend, it precisely means what is happening today is that almost all the education institutes are buying data from the market, and they are going at a uh, existing mass communication tools. They either go for a OBD, which is outbound dialing. They would hand over the data before the admission season to a call center who would be calling on behalf of these colleges to probably generate some leads. There is a SMS campaigning that they go through, and this data is generated. This is readily available market data that's there. So that is what is happening. Now, there's a lot of probability to optimize that. Where should you actually use a call? Where should you use you can use a WhatsApp to automate it, or you can use automated dialing to reduce manual intervention. That's how your entire communication strategy is decided. You sit and you create an entire roadmap of what works best where, and that's where the optimization and prices happen. For example, we work with a college where we have automated their appointment process for student interviews. They have certain interviews. We've 100% automated their process, relieving two HR resources who were earlier empaneled to do this thing. Another example that comes to my mind is of after call communication. What happens? Let's say admission officer receives a call or the counselor receives a call. Then they are set to do certain tasks manually. They need to send a brochure, or they need to send the prospectus, the next steps, the admission forms. Now this has been automated to an extent. If a call has been received, once the call is cut, automatic communication happens on WhatsApp, wherein the admission forms are sent, the prospectus is sent, and the next steps are clearly elucidated. Because whatsoever the communication that is happening between on call, it is better. I mean, that's not. I mean, nobody recalls every pointer. What exactly is the journey? And for a student or a parent, the entire process, once they encounter it firsthand, looks very humongous. That they need to go to this department, they need to seek approval from this hostel, is a different ball game. So they want all the information collated in one point. So that's another thing that we've been able to optimize on. The second point which I mentioned, which was personalization of the communication. So we have tools that can personalized communication at scale. You have 1 lakh leads, and you can directly upload a message that would probably address, hey Murli, you have shown interest through our website on this date in engineering courses. We have certain engineering students whom you might want to speak with. I mean, there are a lot of ways to engage, and companies are still doing this. I mean, sorry, not institutions are still doing this. We have implemented this for 3-4 institutions this time, where we have personalized the mass communication. And usually very recent case is where there were field visits. So what the education institutes does, they target the 12th 11th 12th students to visit their campus, so that they already have a catch them young sort of a strategy. So now a lot of people sign up to visit the labs, the mechanical lab or whatsoever the college tour is, but very few show up. So before the day, actual day, they run campaigns wherein they were personally addressing each individual that hi Shibani, you had requested and you have been selected for this field trip that is scheduled to happen tomorrow. Please make sure that you reach 1 hour before time. And that has given them results. They were doing this for last 4 5 years, but this time they have seen a significant jump, almost 20 25% jump, because there were personalized reminders this time. Others, they relied on people manually calling and getting confirmations, and in most cases there was the result was not that good as it is right now. The third part that I come to is measure. Whatever we are doing, what I have seen with educational institutes, they do a lot of spending, but they are not able to measure the impact of the spending. For example, we are working with a Delhi-based institution that used to have pan-India outdoor campaigns. When I say outdoor campaigns, there are big hoardings that they put up, and we said that let's track those. So if they have put up a hoarding in a Lucknow or in an Ernakulam or Bangalore, what is the ROI they are getting? And you would be shocked to know that they were only getting leads from 4 states, only 4 states, and that's already surrounding New Delhi. Rest of the southern states, very minuscule or negligible leads that were coming from. So once they started measuring this ROI, so we have tools that measure the marketing campaigns based on geographies or based on the channel, be it Facebook or Insta, which lead is coming through which channel. If you are able to measure it, probably you can optimize it for the next month or the next season. So these are the three ROI generating strategies that my operator can help the education institutes with, to answer your original question.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there's a question from Abhi Singh on in terms of user experience and getting too intrusive to WhatsApp. So Abhi, what LeadSquared or any tool can ideally do is to do relevant communication. So I'll tell you the journey how colleges are following, right? Especially the large ones where we implemented. So on the inquiry form itself, they take a consent from the student that are they okay to get communication via WhatsApp. Number one. So whenever they say no, right, when the student have an option to select no, I don't want to be communicated via WhatsApp, that channel actually gets blocked and no further communication goes, right? That's step one. Whoever says yes, I want to continue and get WhatsApp notification, they will be added to the nurturing list or the sequential WhatsApp campaigns, whatever is configured. But even after that, so if the student is in a certain stage, let's say initially student comes and it's an inquiry, after a couple of days it may move to application initiated, application completed. So at any point in time, via automations you can actually say that only these particular stages or the leads or students in that stage gets communication. If somebody marked as not interested, no further communication goes to that student. Or somebody says that no, I don't want any further communication, those will be automatically removed from the campaign list. So that way you can actually send relevant communication to the relevant students who are in the journey, and exclude everybody who are not part of your ongoing journey of conversion, right? So, and mass communication as such, I think is not anyways done by colleges via WhatsApp. They are very careful because of two things. One, it's very costly, right? So if you want to send a mass communication via WhatsApp, you have to really spend a good amount of money on, number one, approving the right template. Number two, obviously per transaction or per SMS cost in WhatsApp is high, right? I think maybe Shivam can tell what the current pricing is. It's about 60 paisa plus, if I'm right. So per transaction, yeah. So that's why they don't do bulk communication as such. But relevant communication, and that can be controlled by LeadSquared or tools like LeadSquared.
Okay. So my next question is for you, Murli. So how can and I think some of the audience also might have a similar concern here. So how can institutions track the performance of its communication channels? How does one determine the right channel for them? And that's, the channel that they would want to spend on.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think Shivam explained the conventional ways of communication, and then we have WhatsApp, right? So to summarize, we have four major channels of communication, right? Email, SMS, phone, that's phone calls, and WhatsApp. So these are the four widely used, or these four covers your 95% of the communication channels for any college, university out there. The recent communication channels like chatbots, or Facebook chat messengers coming on to the CRM. Those are the new ones which are there, but the usage is very limited. Now, coming to these four channels, tools like LeadSquared offers a complete visibility in terms of integrating all these channels into a central system of the CRM, right? Wherein if you open a student record, you basically can have a view of how many emails have been sent, how many SMSs have been sent, what WhatsApp messages have been sent, and how many calls are done for that particular student with a summary, right? Now, when you have this summary, what you can do next is more important. Number one, you can restrict the number of calls which you do for a student. For example, if a student is not picking the call for 4 times or 5 times, you can actually mark that lead as cold automatically using LeadSquared, which ideally means calling as a channel is done and dusted for that student. Then you say, okay, I will send SMSs. Then question comes, how many, right? Or I'll send WhatsApp, how many you will send? Then you will stop it, right? Now that journey can be defined by the college. Usually colleges say 3-4 SMSs will go for a period of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and if there's no response, they stop it. Some colleges are little more you can say following up with the student. They want to actually spend little more duration. So for a season of 3 months, they put a nurturing sequence. Say 10 emails will go, 10 SMSs will go, and if the student is not responding in that duration, the lead is marked as cold or lost or whatever they want to mark it, right? So that's how you create a journey in LeadSquared. And coming back to the best preferred channel, right? This usually comes from the student himself in majority of the cases, right? Because whenever the enquiry comes for the first time, so there are two types of enquiry raised. One is an inbound enquiry where student came onto your website and submitted a form. In lot of cases, they actually take the consent from the student that this is the preferred mode of communication. Are you okay? And in CRM, that flag is updated. Yes, phone call is the best communication, or WhatsApp. Now comes the purchase lead data, what Shivam mentioned, right? Now, a lot of colleges nowadays, they purchase data from third-party sources, partners, or wherever they can get the data. They bulk upload into the CRM. So not a very good method, but it is very difficult for you to know which communication these data is opted for, right? So what they do is they upload, they send a bulk campaign first, right? They send a mass campaign email or an SMS blast with having some links to actually have a call to action, right? Now, when the call to action happens, from that point, actually, you can take a method of communication or a channel of communication, and then you continue to nudge them from that particular channel. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for sharing those insights. I think Abhi also has the same views. I will actually now move to Jubin's question because he has put up a longish question here. Is there a way to differentiate between paid Meta WhatsApp campaigns and inbound messages originating from offline sources like QR codes and newspapers? Do you have any recommended solutions for distinguishing between paid and organic WhatsApp engagement?
Yeah, I think Shivam, you are already talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So paid Meta WhatsApp campaign. So every campaign that you host on Meta is paid. Meta does not do free campaigns, so it's always paid. inbound messages anyways is, so we have 4 channels of inbound communications. One is your chatbot. You put up a chatbot on the website, somebody comes and says hi. That is counted as a transaction message, or it's an inquiry, and it is relatively cheaper as compared to the actual campaign, which is a marketing message. That's the terminology we use: a marketing message and a transaction or a service message, right? So QR codes anyways is the second: chatbot, QR code, WhatsApp link, and WTC, click to WhatsApp ad, CTWA. So these are the 4 acquisition channels that you can deploy to reduce on your campaign spend. Customer can, I mean, the students can come or the parents can come and they can directly engage with you without you spending a lot of money. Almost the price difference is more than twice between a marketing spend and the service or the transaction spend. So distinguishing this again is not a possibility as of now, until and unless you have yourself the campaign numbers with you. Because when you run a campaign, you have a set of, let's say, 10,000 numbers, and you run a campaign on those 10,000 numbers. If the same numbers are directly reaching out to you through these 4 channels, you would not be able to differentiate. However, you can probably go and manually check what is the sequence of communication, whether the marketing message was sent first or the inbound inquiry has come first, and this is that you can segregate. But again, it's a manual process. Typically, what we do in such cases is, because what we recommend colleges and institutions is to set 2 distinct numbers. One is only for the marketing campaigns, and the other one is your incoming number for incoming messages. How this helps is, there's an internal meta guidelines that determines the quality and the health of your account. If there's too many people marking you as spam, you would ultimately be kicked out of the meta ecosystem. They have that power. So you are either categorized as good, average, or poor. The moment you hit poor, there's a huge possibility that Meta would discontinue their services for you. So if you are running an outbound campaign and you do not know the source of your lead, whether they have opted in or not opted in, and what happens is, in many cases, even if they have opted in, the customers tend to mark that as spam. And that's a tendency with most of the students that we've seen, and somehow the quality rating of your account gets degraded, and that is a point of concern. And that's why we said that your primary channel of acquisition would remain secure. You are receiving all the messages, and you can project that numbers onto all your advertisements, and you can collect all the numbers there. For marketing, you use a separate number. So 2 accounts, 2 meta accounts would do the job.
And to add to Shivam, right? So Jubin, from QR code, especially on the newspapers perspective, we have implemented a very good solution for a large college in Bangalore, where so I'll tell you the use case, how it goes, so that I think it will be helpful for all the audience. So QR code can be linked with a landing page, right, or an inquiry form. So when they scan the QR code, a landing page pops up on their mobile, which basically have fields like enter your email ID, phone, and number, right? And at the back end, I know the source of that QR code because the link is very specific to each QR, right? Now, what we did in one of the colleges is they have the front office or a reception, right? So wherein the walk-in students come. So at the entrance of the college, we placed a big hoarding of the QR, standee basically with the QR code. Any parent coming with a student should first scan the QR. Immediately it will ask for details of name, number. Whenever they enter that, a counselor is automatically allocated in LeadSquared, and a message goes to the parent or the student saying that, hey, thank you for your inquiry. Please meet Mr. Murli. He will be your counselor and he'll be working with you and guiding you in the next steps. So by the time they reach the front desk, right, the counselor name is already there with the parent, and they go to the reception and they just say, I want to meet Murli. So they will direct him to Murli, and Murli already knows that there's an inquiry which is getting assigned to him in the system. So that way you basically capture the whole journey. The same QR capturing process can work in the newspaper ad also, right? Instead of a number, you have a QR, you scan the QR, immediately you have a form on the parent's mobile or the student's mobile. They put the enquiry, immediately they can get a notification that thank you for your enquiry and here is your counselor details to connect with the next steps. Yeah.
Sure. I will actually also jump in and answer this. Take this webinar for example. If we are discussing who came in from which source, this webinar was promoted on LinkedIn. We shared it on WhatsApp. We shared it via email, and I know exactly who has signed up from which channel because of UTM parameters or the tracking URL as we know it. So I know who has signed up from the LinkedIn event page. I know who has signed up from WhatsApp. I know who has signed up from email. So tracking URL or UTM parameters is one way. I think at least within the marketing team at LeadSquared, we leverage it a lot just to ensure that we are tracking every source. We are getting registrations from. Now I will move to, okay, Harshvi has a question. It is a follow-up question. He says, sir, what about spam if we do not opt for paid meta promotion? Our account tends to get stopped due to this spam. Are there any ways to avoid this without opting for paid meta promotions?
So Shiva, the question is, yeah. So question is, if Meta blocks it, how do we react? So that's the question.
So Harshvi, before that, I would need to understand whether you have taken the account from a official WhatsApp or a Meta partner, because Meta functions through their official partners, and there are certain unofficial channels that have emerged in the market, wherein they use your personal account to send a lot of marketing messages on WhatsApp, but that's not the official or the authorized way that
And the
Meta works.
APIs and integrations are not supported there, by the way. So they
Yeah.
don't enable the APIs and the tracking of the campaigns, etc., through personal Facebook channel.
Right. So if that is not the case and you have taken it from a authorized Meta partner like MyOperator, in that case you need to escalate the inquiry, whosoever is your account manager, and you need to let them know with the evidences that the conversations that you have sent out have been with opt-in users. So there is the opt-in users can be tracked if you have certain policies on your website. See, it's very different for call and SMS as compared to WhatsApp. I'll tell you why. Because call and SMS comes under TRAI, which is the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, and they have clearly demarcated a UCC guideline, which is unsolicited commercial communication. If you breach that, there are certain penalties and restrictions that the telcos impose on the one who's doing that, and also a fine up to rupees 10,000. In Meta's case, thankfully, Meta is not under the TRAI as of now. So they have their internal code of conduct. So we need to probably get in touch with the Meta's team, and that your partner would do. The Meta's partner, whosoever has provided you with the solution, would do on behalf of you, and they would present a case. They will contest it with the person there, and ultimately the decision comes from the leadership team. Is there one
Okay.
organization where we can buy relevant database for lead generation?
No, we
I
don't.
think you should stay away from databases. Believe me, I'm from marketing. It's always a bad idea.
There is no
Okay.
authentic. There is no authentic organization, Dinesh. By the way, right? So I mean, everybody is there, and the same data is there across everybody,
Yeah.
and more spam basically.
I don't know how my
And
number has
reputation
slipped
goes
into.
for
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I get like 5 calls a day asking if I want a loan. I mean, I don't know how my number has gone there, but they all think I'm desperately looking for a loan. So, yeah.
And Dinesh, the other important parameter to consider when you purchase data and sending any communication, right? Your domain reputation goes for a toss, and rebuilding that is not easy at all. So the moment the more and more spam emails goes from your official domain name, right? Like xyzcollege.com, building back that domain reputation is a nightmarish job. So I mean, you need to literally spend more money to get the reputation back onto track.
And just a small tip from my end also. Uh, you probably, if I were you, I would be focused on creating a very genuine lead generation and setting up processes to maintain that and nurture the lead generation pipeline. That would probably cost you more in the less in the long run. I mean, the databases seem less upfront, but believe me, the ROI that they drive over a course of time, you would realize that you can get it sorted for much cheaper. It's hard work, but it's the right route.
Okay. Now I will plug in some direct selling or of sorts here. So I'll start with you, Shivam, and then I'll move to you, Murli. So what are some of the, I think, features or capabilities? What would you say are the top three features or capabilities of MyOperator that make it the right fit for education institutes?
So, I mean, MyOperator as a company, we've evolved in the last 12, 14 years into a communication gateway of sorts, right from voice to messaging to omni-channel communication platforms. We have multiple offerings. To collate it, if I was an education institute, the lowest hanging fruit for me would be a WhatsApp bot. I would set it up on the website. I would get the QR codes, printed it on the marketing, all the marketing collateral that I'm sending out, all the prospectus that I'm sending out. And I would focus on making sure that I derive the maximum ROI out of it. Once these are interactive chatbots, I mean, you can have, let's say, almost all the conversation, you can eliminate 95% of the counselor's job, and that too people can do it sitting at the comfort and convenience of their homes or from wherever they are. So that is one. Chatbots anyways is disrupting. WhatsApp chatbots, not the regular chatbots. The WhatsApp chatbots are disrupting. The second is again XCOM, which is one of our product, which is extended communication, which is a post call or a post SMS or a post WhatsApp communication automation. What happens is if a lead comes themselves to your number or to your WhatsApp, what do you do with it? How do you engage with it? Can we set up certain elements? If an admission officer speaks, can we make sure that every conversation that is happening during the admission season on a specific admissions number, uh, post the call, automatically all the information with the guidelines and the prospectus and the admission form is automatically sent to the student? Can we have all the timelines set up with the reminders so that they can probably track it? So that is what XCOM does. I mean, a post call, people also use it for CSAT. If not education institutes, a lot of brands like Carrot Lane, Lenskart, they use it for their CSAT evaluation. Once a sales guy puts the call down, automatically a feedback form is sent over WhatsApp or SMS or your call, interactive call. So that's XCOM is again automating a journey of sorts. Then we have Omni Campaigner, which is personalization, as I mentioned earlier. Uh, Nobody is interested in generic messages. If so, I'll tell you a very interesting anecdotes. I'm not sure in India where everyone of us is from, but most likely you would have heard a automated call saying, "Hi, I am your local MLA," or somebody speaking in your native tone, of course. And it is a pre-recorded message that is the call goes on to narrate what they have done and they want you to vote for them. I'm not sure how many of you have seen that, but
Modi
this,
ji calls keep coming actually. Modi ji calls every now and then.
yeah. So we power Modi ji
Yeah.
from Man Ki Baat to apps. Every such calls we are powering. But now, Murli, when you receive the call, it will say, "Hi, Murli, how are you doing? I
Yeah.
am Mr. Modi calling," and it would be personalized to your geography. That in your geography, I have got two street lights installed, and probably it might not be Modi ji and your local MLA or a MP, and they would tell you whatever work they have done. So 2024 is the election season, and ours is one of our major businesses, political campaigning. So we have such advanced tools where if you want to interact with student, you can probably use certain information that is already there and communicate with the student, he won't be able to understand whether he would feel that it is being directly aimed at him. That sort of personalization is the reality of the day, and it's not very costly. It's very much affordable. So that summarizes three tools that you asked for: chatbots, an extended communication automation, and a omni-channel personalization tool.
Awesome. And I see Murli has got disconnected for a bit, so I will probably then move to the next question, wherein how do you think LeadSquared fits into this picture? How do the two solutions work together to ensure institutions maximize student conversions?
So Shivani, what I see is there are two parts to a journey. First is getting the leads, and the second is nurturing the leads and converting them into your students or business. So the first part, that is generating and collecting the leads and funneling it down into a system where the entire lead journey can be maintained, is a combination that we both offer. As MyOperator, we already have SMS, telephony, WhatsApp, integrated channels of communication that funnels down the leads to LeadSquare. And once it reaches the LeadSquare's ecosystem, then the entire journey of nurturing the lead, from just a lead to becoming a prospect to becoming whatsoever the sales cycle the individual organization follow or the institute follow, but
Yeah, I'll add
actual business happens
Yeah.
with LSQ.
Yeah, so I'll add that, Shivam. So adding to that, so what LeadSquared can do, even I think Nitish is asking a similar question. So what LeadSquared does is, once you have an inbound call, or at least you have a number in the system, right? We integrate with MyOperator, and all the incoming and outgoing calls can be routed through LeadSquared. So when I say routed, the disposition form, right? So when you basically get an incoming call, you want to update the disposition of that call, why he called for, what exact discussion happened. All of that can happen in LeadSquared. And the post call processes, right? For example, if the inbound call came in and he's interested, what should happen next, right? Let's say a text should go, an SMS, email should go, right? And a task should be created for a follow-up, let's say for next day, or based on the time.
Oh, I think we've lost Murli again. Nitish did have the question. Please suggest or give example of a process flow for outbound calls made by the team. Shivam, if you'd like to. Oh, Murli, you're back. Sorry.
I'm sorry, yeah. I don't know what happened. It just got stuck. Yeah. So once the process is.
Okay, we've lost him again. Yeah, Shivam, if you'd like to go ahead with the outbound calls made by the team.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Nitish, what happens is in an integrated environment, you already have all the channels shown in the LSQ panel itself. So if you want to make a call, there would be a calling option right in front of your the CRM part. Wherever the lead is, there would be a calling button. The telecallers can initiate the call inside the panel. Once the call is made, whatever the conversation happens, the entire call analytics along with the call recording would be visible on the LeadSquared CRM. So if a team leader or a quality analyst wants to check the quality of the calls conducted, that is also possible. What this does is it starts creating an entire journey. When all the call was made, who made the call, whether the customer made the call, or I mean whether the student made the call, or it was made by one of your agents. What was they also get an option to write the summary of the call. This is how you create an entire journey. So let's say for an admission season, if you have 1,000 students that you're working on, qualified sales qualified leads, there are 1,000 sales qualified leads, then probably all the sales agents, whosoever reaches out using the LSQ and the MyOperator ecosystem. And it's not only for the calls, for WhatsApp also you get an integrated experience. from the LeadSquare panel itself, you can make a call, you can send a WhatsApp, you can probably initiate a SMS. That's all inside the panel itself. You don't have to go fluctuate between places, and the entire journey of the student would be there itself. That this is the date that the customer was, the student was called. This was the time that the prospectus was sent. This is the first response. This was the response entered by the telesales caller. This is, and they can keep rating them, whether it's a hot, warm, cold, whatsoever the nomenclature the institution followed. Based on that categorization, whenever you look at a lead, you get an entire outlook whether how many of these are going to be converted. You get that sense, and basis your business, basis the nature of conversion, you can measure certain matrices. It's the conversion matrices, and once you have those, it's just a matter of expanding your top of the funnel. If the conversion rate is, let's say, 7% for you, and you have 1200 seats, then working on a database of 10,000 might not work for you. But accordingly, you adjust your numbers so that you are able to fulfill that requirement. Murli, all yours.
Yeah, I think Murli has been seeing some technical issues. Before I think, yeah, we're almost there, end of time. I will just point out to the audience, if you haven't taken the poll yet, please do answer the questions. Your feedback will help us better service you. That's how I'd like to put it. And I think that also brings me to the end of my questions. So I think one of the last questions, maybe if you want to take it, Shivam, but we would have answered it during the course of this webinar today. The question is, one of the top choices for student university communication is WhatsApp. Can you share maybe some popular use cases of WhatsApp that has helped improve engagement throughout the student journey?
So there are multiple use cases. The first one, as I mentioned, is the basic information sharing, the entire admissions process and the admissions form, the prospectus, automated sharing of that. The second is appointments automation. We've already done this for a couple of companies, the institutions. What happens in appointment? Whenever interview is scheduled or a counseling session is scheduled, that scheduling can be managed automatically via WhatsApp. Another interesting flow. Now, what WhatsApp is coming up. I was there last week in Mumbai. We had a Meta Partners meet, and there it was announced. Mr. Zuckerberg, he announced that now they are enabling all forms of payments starting 24th of October in WhatsApp itself. So when I say presently, there are a couple of channels available, but that does not encompass the entire channel payments ecosystem. But now, starting October, let's say November, we would be able to entire a hassle-free payments experience. So, for example, until and unless a student pays the college fees, we do not consider him enrolled. So can we make a part of a process wherein there is an automated payments follow-up mechanism, right from sending the payment link to getting the payment inside WhatsApp without having to move out of the app, getting a payments receipt generated, a GST bill or a regular bill generated, and sending it over WhatsApp for confirmation. So that all can be done. So these are some popular use cases that you would see coming up.
Okay. That brings me to the end of the conversation. Murli, I know we lost you for a bit there, but it was, we discussed a few popular use cases and the overall, I think, advantage that MyOperator and LeadSquared bring together. So yeah, with that, I'd like to close the session, but plenty of insightful tips we got from you, Shivam and Murli, some of which we will use ourselves in marketing at LeadSquared for sure, particularly when it comes to WhatsApp. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for so much for sharing the insights that you have shared today. Yeah, so thank you so much, Shivam. Murli, please have a good day.
Thank
And look
you.
out for
Thank
a
you.
lot of tidbits on social media very soon. All right. See you.
Thank you, Shivani. Thank you, Murli. And thank you, the audience. Lovely questions. Good engagement. Signing out. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.